Right now, there are more distractions in a single hour than our ancestors faced in an entire week. And yet, we wonder why we feel lost, anxious, and out of control. The average man checks his phone 150 times a day. Drowns in 10 hours of screen time. Works a job he hates. Sleeps less. Thinks more. But still, feels empty. Because we're being pulled in 100 directions, and no one's teaching us how to stand still. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics had an answer. A way to silence the noise. To sharpen your focus like a sword. And reclaim your mind from the chaos. In a world that profits from your distraction, Stoicism is an act of rebellion. It's the philosophy of warriors, emperors, and thinkers. And right now, it's exactly what American men need more than ever. If you're tired of feeling scattered, tired of scrolling, tired of living on autopilot, then this video is for you. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you won't just understand Stoicism, you'll know how to use it to take back your time, your mind, and your life. 1. Modern men are drowning in distraction. Stoicism teaches focus and clarity. Imagine this, it's 7:30 a.m. in Austin, Texas. Mike, a 32-year-old project manager, wakes up, and before his feet even hit the ground, he's already checked his email, Instagram, and the latest drama on Reddit. By the time he finishes his morning coffee, he's already been exposed to over 1,000 pieces of content, and he hasn't even started work yet. This isn't rare. It's reality. According to Rescue Time, the average American spends more than 3 hours a day on their phone. For many men, that number is closer to 5 or 6. Add email, Slack, YouTube, and news sites, and we're talking about 7 to 10 hours of daily distraction. We're not just losing time, we're losing our ability to think deeply, to focus, to be present. Stanford researchers call it continuous partial attention. You're never fully here, and never fully anywhere else either. You feel tired, unmotivated, restless. You start something, and abandon it. You make plans, and forget why they mattered. Now let's take a deeper journey, back to ancient Rome, circa 180 AD. At the heart of the empire, amid political unrest, family betrayal, military campaigns on the frontier, and the constant demands of leading millions, sits one man, Emperor Marcus Aurelius. He holds the highest office in the known world, but what does he choose to do each morning? Every morning, he sits down to write in his private journal, reminding himself to slow down, to focus only on what he can control. He writes. Not public decrees, not military orders, but private reflections. Notes to himself. A journal he never intended anyone else to read. That journal would later become known as Meditations, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Very famous quote of Marcus Aurelius, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This wasn't just self-help. It was survival. Marcus was fighting a war not just on the battlefield, but inside his own mind. The world around him was chaotic, plagues, betrayal, the weight of empire. But his Stoic training reminded him daily, the only true power lies in our ability to master our internal state. That's what he meant by stillness. A calm, clear, unwavering mind in the face of life's turbulence. Stillness isn't the absence of action, it's the discipline of focused attention. Where others would react, Marcus responded. Where others were scattered, he centered. He understood that a distracted man is a defeated man, because distraction hands your agency over to the external world. And to a Stoic, that's the greatest loss of all. Let me tell you about Jason, a veteran from Ohio. After serving in the military, he landed a corporate job in Chicago. He was chasing deadlines, always plugged in, chasing productivity like a ghost. One day, during a high-stress project, Jason blacked out from exhaustion in the middle of a meeting. That night, a friend gave him a copy of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. What started as casual reading turned into a routine. Jason began waking up 30 minutes earlier, no phone. Just a notebook, silence, and one question: what is in my control today? 3 months later, he had cut his screen time by 40%, started exercising again, repaired a broken relationship with his son, and launched a side business. Not by doing more, but by doing what mattered. At the heart of Stoicism is one simple rule: focus only on what's in your control. That means, you can't control what your boss says. You can't control the economy. You can't control politics. But you can control how you respond, what you give your attention to, and where you place your energy. Distraction steals your life in pieces. Focus rebuilds it. Here are 3 ways to apply Stoicism today. 1. The digital fast every morning, no phone for the first 30 minutes. Use that time to breathe, journal, or read a page of a Stoic book. 2. The control filter before reacting. Ask, is this in my control? If not, drop it. If yes, act with purpose. 3. Set a daily intention. Write down one thing that matters most today, and protect it like a lion protects its cubs. That's Stoic focus. If you've been feeling scattered, tired of the noise, and ready to get back control of your time and your mind, Stoicism isn't just a philosophy. It's a tool. A shield. A weapon. Start small. One thought. One page. One focused breath. And over time, you'll feel it. The chaos outside will still be there, but it won't control you anymore. Drop a comment below. What's the biggest distraction stealing your focus right now? Subscribe for part 2, how Stoicism builds unshakable mental toughness in a soft world. We live in the most connected, comfortable, and convenient time in history, and yet American men are falling apart. Depression is rising. Anxiety is spiking. Young men feel lost, angry, and fragile. And it's not because we're weak, it's because we've never been trained to be strong where it matters most, in the mind. According to the CDC, suicide rates among American men have increased by over 25% in the last 2 decades. The age group hit hardest? 25 to 44. We're told to open up, but no one tells us how to build the strength to carry what we find inside. We're told to feel our emotions, but not how to face fear, rejection, or failure without crumbling. Mental toughness used to be forged on the battlefield, on the job site, in hard winters, in hard times. Today, it's fading. But Stoicism can bring it back. Let's meet Epictetus, a man born into the harshest conditions imaginable. He was a slave, owned by a cruel master in the Roman Empire. He was beaten, crippled, his leg permanently damaged, possibly broken on purpose. He had no rights, no property, no freedom. And yet, he became one of the most powerful voices in human history. Why? Because he understood something that most people, even today, never grasp. A famous quote from Epictetus: "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Epictetus couldn't control the beatings. He couldn't stop injustice. But he could choose how he responded. He could protect one sacred domain, his mind. And that is the essence of mental toughness, not bravado, not anger, not resistance, but clarity. Inner resilience. The ability to endure without being broken. He lost everything, but he never lost himself. In time, Epictetus gained his freedom. He opened a school. He taught a generation of thinkers, including the young Marcus Aurelius, who read his works and applied them to the throne of Rome. Ever heard of Jocko Willink? Former Navy SEAL, podcaster, author. Discipline incarnate. In an interview, Jocko said something deeply Stoic: when things go bad, good. It's an opportunity to get stronger. To test yourself. To improve that mindset. Straight out of Marcus Aurelius, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Modern Stoicism is alive. In men like Jocko, in single dads working 2 jobs, in athletes grinding in silence, in addicts rebuilding their lives. You don't build toughness by avoiding pain. You build it by choosing the hard thing daily. Marcus Aurelius faced war, betrayal, and plague. But he wrote every day, not to the world, but to himself. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This is the ultimate mental training. Own your thoughts. Endure discomfort. Choose courage over comfort, and how you can build Stoic resilience: cold showers, early wake-ups, skip a meal, not because you have to, but because you choose to. Train your willpower like a muscle. Every morning, imagine one thing going wrong, then remind yourself, you'll still stand. Seneca called this preparing the mind for fortune's blows. Build an internal fortress, repeat daily. I am not my circumstances, I am not what happens to me, I am what I choose to do next. American men don't need more comfort, we need more courage. More fire. More stillness under pressure. Stoicism isn't about being emotionless. It's about being unbreakable. What's the hardest thing you're going through right now, and how are you choosing to respond? If this message resonated with you, if you believe, like Marcus and Epictetus did, that strength starts in the mind, then like the video, and share it with someone who needs this reminder today. Help us grow, not through hype, but through virtue, wisdom, and the quiet strength of the Stoic path. Because in a world full of noise, we're building something still, something strong, something that endures. Part 3. The Epidemic of Meaninglessness. Stoic purpose gives men direction. Have you ever asked yourself, what am I actually doing all this for? You wake up. Drive to work. Sit in meetings. Come home. Watch Netflix. Repeat. You're alive, but you're not really living. Gallup reports that over 60% of US workers feel emotionally disconnected from their jobs. Depression and substance abuse are rising, especially in men between 25 and 54. And behind the stats? A deeper truth: we are a generation of men who are busy, but not driven. Exhausted, but not fulfilled. Connected online, but spiritually starving. The Stoics believed that every man was born with a purpose, a role in the universe. Not some mystical idea. A daily duty. A way of living that brings clarity, strength, and peace. Marcus Aurelius said, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work." As a human being, purpose, to the Stoics, wasn't something you found. It was something you chose. Today, meet Dave, a 47-year-old construction worker from Detroit. Never read a self-help book. Doesn't post on Instagram. But lives by Stoic principles without even knowing it. Every morning, Dave wakes up at 5, makes coffee, and journals 3 things he's grateful for. Works hard. Trains in the gym. Coaches his son's little league team. Doesn't complain. Doesn't compare. Just shows up. He once told a friend, "I'm not rich, but I know what my job is. I provide. I protect. I don't quit. That's all the meaning I need. That's real masculinity. That's Stoicism. That's purpose in motion." The Stoics believed in living according to nature, which means doing the work that aligns with your deepest values. For men, that usually means building, protecting, creating, leading, sacrificing. Seneca wrote, "Life without purpose is wandering." If a man knows not which port he sails, no wind is favorable, no career, no relationship, no lifestyle will fulfill you if it's not tied to something bigger than yourself. Now, how you will find a purpose in a purposeless world. 3 Stoic steps. 1. Define your duty. Ask yourself, who relies on me? What is my role right now? It might be being a better husband, a more present father, a man of integrity at work. Start there. Own it. 2. Embrace the struggle. Purpose isn't easy. It's heavy, but it gives meaning to pain. A Stoic welcomes resistance, because that's where character is carved. 3. Create a personal code. Write down 3 principles you will live by, no matter what: courage, honesty, discipline. Revisit it every morning. Make your life a mission. Every man needs a reason to get up in the morning. If you don't choose it, the world will choose one for you, and it won't be one that strengthens you. Whether you're a CEO in Manhattan or a janitor in Montana, your work has meaning if you choose to give it meaning. The Stoics didn't chase fame or followers. They chased virtue. They built lives of substance. And they left behind legacies of strength. Comment below, what's one area of your life you want to reclaim purpose in? Subscribe for part 4, Overwhelmed by Emotions? Stoicism trains emotional mastery. We live in a time when men are more emotionally overwhelmed than ever before. One moment, you're fine. The next, you're anxious, angry, or shut down completely. You're told, just talk about it. But you don't want to rant. You want to get control. You want strength, not sympathy. That's where Stoicism steps in. According to the American Psychological Association, over 70% of men report stress-related symptoms weekly. And nearly 1 in 10 American men suffer from depression. But here's what we don't talk about: most of that pain doesn't come from life itself. It comes from how we interpret it. The Stoics knew this. That emotion isn't the enemy. It's a signal. The enemy is when the emotion drives the car. Let's make something clear: Stoicism is not about being a robot. It's not about pretending nothing bothers you. It's about feeling fully, but acting wisely. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. You feel the anger, but you don't punch the wall. You feel the fear, but you still show up. You feel the sadness, but you don't collapse. Let me tell you about Brian, a 38-year-old firefighter from Phoenix. He was known for being tough, but at home, he was explosive. Small things would set him off. One night, he yelled at his daughter over a spilled drink. He walked out, sat in his truck, and realized, I fight fires for a living, but I can't control the fire in my own head. The next day, he started reading meditations. He began journaling every morning, asking himself, what triggered me yesterday? Was it really worth it? Over time, Brian stopped reacting. He started responding. With calm. With clarity. His wife noticed. His daughter noticed. He became the man they could rely on, not the one they feared. That's Stoic emotional strength in real life. The Stoics taught that emotion is created by our judgments. If you change your interpretation, you change the feeling. Epictetus said, it's not things that disturb us, but our opinion about them. Think about that next time someone cuts you off in traffic, or your girlfriend ignores your text, or your boss criticizes you. You can feel it, but then ask, is this worth my peace? Is this within my control? Can I pause, breathe, and act instead of react? Work on these Stoic tools for emotional mastery. 1. The emotional gap. Before reacting, insert 5 seconds, count, breathe, that's your power zone. Stoicism teaches you, never react in emotion. Act in principle. 2. The daily reflection every night, ask, what did I feel today? What triggered me? What could I do differently? 3. View from above. Marcus Aurelius would imagine himself looking at Earth from space, to shrink his problems down to size. You spilled coffee? Your ego got bruised? From space, it's nothing. The strongest man isn't the loudest. It's the one who stays calm while everyone else loses their mind. If this video spoke to you, hit that like button. It helps the algorithm push this message to more men like us who are working to stay in control, stay grounded, and rise above life's chaos. Let's talk about Part 5. Fatherhood and leadership are in crisis. Stoicism revives masculine responsibility. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. B1. This quote is by Marcus Aurelius. Right now, America is facing a quiet crisis. Not economic. Not political. But generational. Boys are growing up without fathers. Teams are led by cowards. Households have no moral anchor. And masculinity? It's either mocked, or it's missing. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 1 in 4 kids in America grow up without a father in the home. That's over 18 million children without a consistent male presence, guidance, or example of what strength really looks like. And the ripple effects are massive. 85% of youth in prison grew up without fathers. Fatherless children are 4x more likely to face poverty. Higher risk of depression, anxiety, dropout rates. And it's not just kids. Grown men are drifting. No mentors. No solid examples of leadership. No code. The Stoics believed a man's first duty was to lead himself, and then, lead others by example. Marcus Aurelius wasn't just an emperor. He was a father to 13 children. A military commander. A philosopher king. And in his journals, you see a man constantly reminding himself, be strict with yourself. Gentle with others. Do your job as a man, Seneca wrote. A man is as much the guardian of his family as a general is of his army. Leadership wasn't about power. It was about service. About standing tall when others fold. Let me tell you about Eric, a 42-year-old single father from Pennsylvania. He didn't have a great role model growing up. His dad left when he was 9. When his own marriage fell apart, Eric was left with his daughter, Eva, and a choice: break the cycle or repeat it. He started reading the Daily Stoic, journaling, training, saying no to distractions. He built routines, enforced discipline, and showed Eva what calm strength looked like. Now, Eva's thriving. Not because life was easy, but because her father refused to abandon his post. Stoicism gave Eric the mental armor to lead with love, discipline, and example, without excuses. Before you lead your family, your team, your business, you lead your mind. That means, control your impulses. Speak with purpose. Don't complain. Don't blame. Do what needs to be done, especially when it's hard. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." Your kids don't need lectures. They need proof. They need a model, not a preacher. So, here are 3 Stoic habits for modern fathers and leaders you should follow. -1. Morning discipline: wake up before your kids, journal, read, reflect. Lead your day before it leads you. 2. The role rehearsal: each day, visualize a challenge you may face, and how a wise, calm leader would handle it. This mental prep builds calm in real time. 3. Family philosophy time: once a week, talk with your kids or partner about values. Use quotes. Ask big questions. Stoicism starts conversations that build character. You don't have to be perfect. Just present. Just consistent. Just willing to grow. Drop a comment below. What kind of example do you want to set, and what's one habit you can start today? Subscribe for part 6, Cancel Culture and Social Pressure. Stoicism gives you inner freedom. We live in an age of outrage. One wrong word. One joke. One moment of honesty, and suddenly, you're attacked, judged, labeled, and exiled. Cancel culture, virtue signaling, online mobs, groupthink. Everyone has a voice, and somehow, that's made it harder to speak your own. But here's the question the Stoics would ask you: if you lose yourself trying to please everyone else, what do you really have left? According to Pew Research, over 60% of Americans say they're afraid to share their true opinions publicly, especially men, who face increasing pressure to get in line or risk being called outdated, toxic, or worse. Men today are scared to lead, scared to be honest, scared to speak with strength, because silence feels safer. But safe isn't strong. And Stoicism never played it safe. Epictetus was born a slave. He owned nothing, except his mind. And he said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life, and it can only be achieved by mastering yourself. Real freedom isn't about doing whatever you want. It's about not being controlled by fear, by opinions, by the crowd. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of Rome, with millions watching every move he made. But he still wrote in his journal, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about others." It is not in their power to command your mind. Meet Anthony, a 34-year-old software engineer from San Francisco. He was asked to sign onto a company-wide statement he didn't fully agree with. Politely, he declined. He didn't attack. Didn't explain. Just stayed silent. He got side eyes. Cold shoulders. Even risked his job. But he kept his posture. Because, as he told me later, if I have to lie to keep peace, then I'm not really at peace. That's inner freedom. That's Stoicism in the real world. One of the core Stoic teachings is this: it's not things that trouble us, it's our opinion about them. In today's world, opinions are flying everywhere. But if you don't build your inner filter, you'll be tossed around like a leaf in the wind. The Stoic man listens. He considers. But he doesn't crumble to the crowd. Follow these 3 Stoic tools for modern freedom. 1. The 2 voices exercise. Each time you're pressured to conform, ask, what does my true voice say? What does the crowd's voice say? Which one will I respect tomorrow? 2. Daily detachment practice. Take 5 to 10 minutes each day to reflect. What opinions am I letting define me? Who am I trying to impress, and why? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, soon you will be dead. All these opinions will vanish. Let that give you perspective. 3. Speak with virtue, not emotion. Don't argue to win. Speak to align with values. If you're grounded in justice, courage, and truth, you don't need validation. You've already won. Drop a comment below. What's one belief or value you've been afraid to stand by, and how will you reclaim your voice? Subscribe for Part 7, Consumerism and Comparison Trap. Men. Stoicism teaches true fulfillment. You were told to chase success. Buy the watch. Drive the car. Get the title, and maybe, you got some of it. But still, something feels off. You look at your life, and quietly wonder, is this it? We live in a world engineered to make you feel like you're not enough. Scroll your feed for 5 minutes and you'll see it. Men with better bodies, bigger homes, more followers. And without realizing it, you start comparing. Start chasing. Start thinking happiness is out there, just one more achievement away. But here's the truth the Stoics knew 2,000 years ago: if you need more to feel fulfilled, you'll never feel fulfilled. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Stoicism flips the modern formula. It says, you're not fulfilled when you get more. You're fulfilled when you need less. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, and still reminded himself daily, very little is needed to make a happy life, because true power isn't in owning things. It's in not being owned by them. Let me tell you about Calvin, 41, from Austin, Texas. He was a top marketing exec. Made 6 figures. Had the Audi, the downtown loft, the perfect life. But inside, he was anxious. Angry. Empty. Until he started journaling, following Stoic prompts. Asking himself, what am I really chasing? And why? He sold his car. Moved out of the city. Started his own small agency. Now, he earns less, but lives more. He's centered. Calm. Finally free. Because Stoicism taught him the difference between status and soul. The Stoics believed that the only good worth chasing was virtue, character. Not houses. Not applause. Not numbers in a bank account. Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. That doesn't mean you can't succeed. It means, let your success serve your soul, not silence it. Stoic habits to escape the comparison and consumerism trap. 1. Practice voluntary simplicity once a week. Give something up: social media, spending, luxury. It reminds you, you are not what you own. 2. Daily gratitude inventory every morning. List 3 things you already have, that money can't buy: your mind, your freedom, your health, your loved ones. 3. Define your version of success. Write down your own definition. Not society's. Not Instagram's. Yours. Then ask, are my choices aligned with this, or with comparison? The world is built to make you feel behind. Stoicism is built to bring you home, to yourself. We've walked through distraction, emotional chaos, fatherhood, fear, pressure, all of it. And what we've seen is this: the world is loud, but Stoicism is silent. The world is soft, but Stoicism is strong. The world is chaotic, but Stoicism is calm. Stoicism isn't a hack. It's not a trend. It's not about feeling better, it's about becoming a man who's useful. A man who can carry the weight. A man who doesn't flinch in storms. A man who leads when others run. If you've made it this far, you're not here by accident. You're hungry for something deeper. Something real. This video is for inspiration and personal growth only. It is not political, divisive, or directed at any group. Stoicism is for anyone seeking strength, clarity, and peace of mind. Drop a comment. What's one Stoic habit or principle you're going to apply starting today? Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. This isn't the end of the journey. It's just the start. We've got more real talk, real tools, and modern Stoicism, built for the man you're becoming. Like this video, it helps the algorithm share this message with more men who are ready to rise above comfort, chaos, and conformity. And remember, you don't need to control the world. You just need to control yourself. That's what makes you free. That's what makes you a man.